Hello and welcome to SweetSpotDFS. This is a course fit video for the 2020 Tour Championship. This is the last stop, the finale, if you will, of the playoffs, the FedEx Cup playoffs. There are only 30 people in the field, so it is a very limited field. So basically, I didn't intend on creating a course fit video, but I feel like something like this can really narrow down your player pool, trying to figure out the right fit for this golf course. We have ample course history, and we'll just get into it. So if you haven't been here before, the course fit videos that I typically do, we go over a course preview. So we'll look at a flyover of the course if it's available to us. If not, then we'll just see like basically a yardage book, but I do have a flyover. We'll go over course history, we'll go over grass stats, and then we'll try to find the best fit for this golf course. So let's get into it. We'll go ahead and show the flyover first. So I have it queued up and we'll hit play and get through it. Now, typically what I do with this is we look off the tee to see if there's any obstacles that we need to shape a shot around. And then on the green, we look at basically, bunkers, how the green is positioned, what type of shot into the green we anticipate getting close, that kind of thing. And at the end, just tally it up and try to find the best shot shape golfer, basically. So let's go ahead, hit play. So right off the gate, it's a pretty straightaway par 4. Really no difficult off the tee. It looks like it slopes quite a bit right to left. So really hitting a fade from the fairway will have the best bounce in the fairway. To the green here, it looks like it's all fade all the way. Hole 2 is a par 3, 214 yards, so pretty lengthy par 3. And it's a Donald Ross golf course, so we have greens that slope from back to front. I think a fade is a perfect ball shape for this hole. Hole 3, pretty short par 4. I think it's the shortest one on the golf course. So I can anticipate golfers hitting 3-wood off the tee. Bombers could really hit it pretty far. But most of these holes, if you look, they narrow the further you get closer, or the closer you get to the green. So maybe not a really long tee shot, but a fade into that green is perfect. Hole 4 probably sets up nicely for a fade, to the eye, that is. So hitting a fade would be pretty decent. It is a pretty lengthy par 4, and it catches a downhill. So either way, it's probably a mid iron into this green, and really no shot shape to the green. So far, looks like faders are kind of preferred. Hole 5, a par 4, 520 yards, another lengthy par 4. Off the tee, visually, it looks like a great visual for a fade. I think this hole slopes severely right to left. I could be wrong. I know hole 5 had something to do with it. Had something notable. I can't remember. But shot into the screen, looks like a draw will be your best bet to get to the pin in the back left. But most of the time, I think anything to the middle of the green is going to be fine. This hole, the par 3, if you see there's water over on the right side, I think hitting a draw is going to be the best ability to get it close back here, but everything else you'd want to hit a fade to, because believe it or not, you would want to start the ball left and have it come back right. This hole, I would say really anything off the tee is going to be fine. It's not that long, but it's all uphill for the approach shot. And this green side bunker here really requires kind of a draw to get close to that back left pin position. So basically now we're finding more draws. And off the tee here, this is visually good for a draw. You wouldn't want to hit a fade because obviously the fairway slopes left. Anything going right, it's difficult to keep in the fairway. This green though, actually that was a drivable. I think Tiger Woods tried driving that green at one point in time, so it's definitely drivable. This is a really long par 5, but it's all downhill. So if you hit a nice draw around, you can really get far down here. So I think like someone like Bryson really benefits from this hole. But it's either a layup or if you can hit it really, if you hit a perfect drive, this this hole is easy to get into. A fade into that back right hole location, though, could really present low scores. Here, this hole 10, the drive doesn't really require a shot shape, one or the other, but it's definitely second shot you'd want to hit a fade. Not only is it visually pleasing to the eye, but the green also not slopes, but it goes from front left to back right. So it uses a fade perfectly. Hole 11 here, the par 3, any shot shape into the green. There's no advantage one way or the other. Hole 12, kind of a short par 4 as well. I think most pros are going to be hitting a wood or an iron off the tee. Getting closer to the green isn't that much of an advantage, and it's pretty narrow up here. Who knows, maybe Bryson could get in this bunker and then he would have an advantage, but really the second shot into the green, there really isn't a shot shape that's preferred. Hole 4, I would say, I really don't know what the slope is on this fairway. I would assume it goes right to left, and if that's the case, hitting a fade into that to counteract that slope to the left would be perfect. But hitting a draw into this green, I guess it depends on how close they can get it to the green. But hitting a draw would be beneficial. Hole 14, any shot shape. It looks like there's trees a little bit on the left side, right off the tee box, so maybe a draw would be pleasing. But I think you can get away with any shot shape. And then into the green, any shot shape will work, but if it was like tucked back here left, definitely a draw. Or just I don't think we have any lefties in the field. Didn't think about that until now. This one looks like a pretty narrow driving hole, and I would imagine hitting a fade is the preferred shot off the tee, but it is so narrow. I wonder if some of the bombers can hit it up here a little bit closer. And if that's the case, like it's a wedge into the green. If not, a fade is a perfect shot shape for that hole. So we're seeing kind of a lot of variety, kind of mixing it up between the two, between fades and draws off the tee and fades and draws into the green. So really a shot shaper would be perfect. So like a Bubba or a Tiger, or even a Phil would be perfect. We don't have those golfers here. I'm sorry, I didn't really talk about this hole, but any shot shape, basically. Sorry. Off the tee, into the green, not a big deal. Hole 17 is like almost like a signature hole to me. Like I always remember this one, watching it, and also playing Tiger Woods golf back in the day. But water's all along the left side. Hitting a draw is preferred. That way, if you do find yourself in trouble, I want to talk about the screen really quick. Definitely a draw into this would be perfect. Everything slopes left, so it can just feeds closer. But let me just pause the video. Going back to that last hole though, hitting a draw off the tee because there's water to the left. That means if you overdraw the ball, you get to drop closer up there, as opposed to hitting a fade. You probably have to fly it over the water. So really hitting a draw is really preferred, like throughout that entire hole. But obviously you can hit a fade and just cruise it off to the right and still be in the rough, but still be safe. But yeah, definitely a draw there. And then we finish with a par 3. It's uphill. It slopes from back to front. Any shot shape really is going to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of the video. Actually, let's go to the tournament fact sheet. I always come here and talk about the tournament fact sheet after the preview. So it's just a little bit further information to go along with what we just learned with. So actually, sorry for rambling, but what I tallied up is we want to be hitting more draws than fades on that golf course, or on this golf course. So really, we'll talk about the golfers that draw the ball, but keep that in mind. I think hitting a draw here is beneficial. And a lot of the winners over the last couple of years have either drawn the golf ball or could shape it both ways. So keep that in mind. But here we go. Tournament fact sheet. Go through this. It's a par 70, around 7,300 yards. It's a lot like last week, where that was also a par 70, around 7,300 yards. The only difference is this isn't really as tree-lined as Olympia Fields. So being a little errant off the tee is going to be it's going to be more manageable, but really still finding the fairway is key. It's Bermuda rough. Bermuda rough is never easy to hit out of. We have Zoysia fairways, though. Actually, let's go through this and we can talk more about it. But par 70, 7,300 yards, stimp meters at a 12. That's quick. It's not super fast. I would say it's probably actually tour average, which is surprising. I thought they actually had these greens rolling faster than that, but pretty average. Green size, it seems like it's a little bit north of average, like bigger than average. I always think of like Pebble Beach, where it's like 3,500 square feet, really small greens. But 6,000, that's, it's pretty decent. We have 74 bunkers, 5 water hazards, and 4 holes where water is in play. So not many holes where water is in play, but those holes have a lot of water in play. And I think your errant golfers off the tee, actually, one of those holes obviously had water, was a par 3. So yeah, I still want to put emphasis on accuracy because I think it's going to matter. And I think it would be foolish if we didn't. But yeah, if you can find a stat where golfers avoid penalty strokes or golfers, have a lot of penalty strokes, you can either, you know which ones to fade and which ones to play, obviously. So something to definitely consider. But then we come down here, we see the turf grass. We have Mini Verde Ultra Dwarf, which we don't see anywhere else on tour. Tiffaway Bermuda grass off the tees and mixed with Meyer Zorro Zoysia grass. Interesting. Most courses that have Zoysia just say Zoysia. There isn't like a name that goes with it. Over the years, we've seen, names get added, which is good because it's a type of strain. It's a strain of the particular grass. So it's a strain of Bermuda, it's a strain of Zoysia, that kind of thing. And they make it just slightly different. So it's not like if we say Bermuda, that means all Bermuda is the same. Some of it is might have thicker leaves, some might have thicker stems, I should say, or thicker roots. I don't know anything about these strains of grass, so I just know it says Zoysia and I know it says Bermuda. So Zoysia in the fairway is a fluffier type of fairway. I believe what I've heard in the past is if I don't know how many of you guys, I'm guessing most of you guys golf, but have you ever driven on a golf cart where it almost feels like you're floating in a boat? Like the grass is so soft, the ground underneath it's super soft. I mean, that's what Zoysia does most of the time. Or if you're the type of golfer that's sticks his leg out of the cart when he's driving and feel the grass underneath you. Hopefully you're not wearing spikes, but you still could feel like really nice golf courses have that really soft feel where it just glides over. Zoysia is that type of grass. So it's a little fluffier. The ball sits up a little bit. It's ideal for everybody. It's like being able to fluff up your ball typically like in the fairway at your municipality, or municipal golf course. So I feel like there is some layers that we could get down to with Zoysia, but I'm not going to. If you have the opportunity to filter by Zoysia, go and do it. See who shows up. I would look at your approach stats with Zoysia, and that's it. Don't look at your tee to green. Don't look at your just approach. Just approach, maybe green and reg, and proximity. Those are the only 3. But yeah, Bermuda, it's good to know that that's the rough because that matters. Bermuda grass is not easy to chip out of. You need to know. what type of, you need to have that experience. So really, we're going to be looking at Bermuda golfers. Anyways, the original architect in 1906, Tom Bendelow. We do see renovations happening with Donald Ross in 1914 and Reese Jones in 94, 2008, 2016. Unfortunately, we really don't know what their stamps were on the golf course. I would assume with Donald Ross, his preferred type of golf course have greens that slope from back to front, and we see that at this golf course quite a bit. So I'm guessing that's what he added to this golf course. Additional notes, some trees were removed on hole 15 to combine the back two tees into one larger teeing area to give a wider range of yardage options. Okay, interesting. We can assume the play will be different because the rough will not be matted down, which may create more difficult recoveries from widely missed shots. Super good to know. But I don't think really we have anyone in, like, of the people that we probably have the most conversations about at this tournament, I don't think we really have to worry about that. So I may be wrong, but I just don't feel like that's really an issue. So that was your tournament fact sheet. Now we go on to the results. So I'll go into the Tour Championship, into the spreadsheet. I had the DK page up, but let's look at the results. So one thing I want you to first notice is minus 2019, because we obviously have the staggered start. Everyone knows about that. And if you don't, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say everyone, but if you don't know what that is there's going to be a little bit of an advantage for some of these golfers. So DJ is going to be starting the golf tournament at 10 under. So he hasn't even started a single hole and he'll be at 10 under. So when we look at results from 2019, that's baked in there. So 2019, I don't know if I said 2018, but I meant 2019. 2019 is one that we don't really want to look at. But when we go 2018, actually, I'll come back to 2019, but going to 2018, when we look at all the scores that won this tournament, it's around 12 under. So we have 11, 12, 12, 9, 11, and 13. So it averages out to be 12 under for the winning score. Believe it or not, Rory McIlroy started at 5 under par for last year's tournament. So he shot 13 under. I believe Xander started out at 16 or 6 under. I don't have the actual numbers. I just know by salary what they were. So if we did this and looked at salary, you can see Justin Thomas was 15.5, finished third. Rory was down here. So this equated to being 5 under for the tournament. So I'm assuming Xander started either at 3 under or 4. He started at 4 under. So when we look at the results, started at 4 under, so he shot 10 under, which obviously that's around second place. And Rory shot 13 under. I assume someone will shoot 13 under and someone will shoot 10 under. But the majority of golfers are probably going to finish somewhere in this 6 under range. Sure, we see a couple of guys here at 10 under, 11 under, that kind of thing. But here you go, 6 under and lower, 6 under and lower, 5 under and lower, little higher scores during these years. So yeah, like 8, 7. Okay, how about this? Let's average it out to be 7 under. So we're going to have a handful of golfers finish 7 under, basically. Around 7 under. I would consider that. Like, take that into consideration because these were not staggered starts. Obviously, 2019 was a staggered start. What I really should have is what their starting score was, like right next to it. I don't have anything on the spreadsheet that would show that. And I don't have any sites up right now, and I'm not going to go through them. But let's just take into consideration that's going to be somewhere around 7 or 6 under. That's going to, be the average score for golfers inside the top 10. That I think that's fair to say. If there wasn't a staggered start. Now that there is a staggered start, it would be interesting, you know, 1 or 2 golfers, or how about this? 3 golfers. No, I don't even want to say that because I don't even see 3 golfers most of the time that shoot 10 under or better. Let's just say 2 golfers are going to shoot 10 under or better, and then we'll have 1 or 2 around 9 or 8 under. You have to choose which golfers you think those are going to be, and apply that, because this course is just going to play the same. Some people have the mentality like DJ and Rom, they're so far ahead from the guys that are at even par that if they were the ones that shot 7 under, they're probably going to win the tournament. I think JT last year, he started at 10 under, finished 13 under, so he was 3 under for the tournament. That's doable. Like that could happen to the guy that's starting this tournament off at 10 under. But let's say that was DJ. Say he shot 7 under. He's still going to lose to Rory, but it's going to be close. It'll be close. So take that into account. Take it into consideration. We'll see who shoots that 10 under, 12 under. I do think it's going to be people that are a little bit behind because of motivation reasons. But anyways, I'm sorry. Kind of went on a tangent there. But look at the golfers that are at the top. Rory primarily hits a draw. Xander primarily hits a draw. Now JT hits a fade. Again, these results are skewed because these 2 guys right here started at the top. And they only shot 3 under and 5 under respectively. So, those are your 2 fade guys. Paul Casey primarily hits a draw. Adam Scott shapes it both ways. Finau hits a fade. Patrick Reed hits a draw. Kisner hits a draw. So like in 2019, a lot of your top guys hit a draw. 2018, Tiger Woods. He shapes it both ways, but whenever he can hit a fade, he hits a fade. Billy Horschel hits a draw. Johnson and Matsuyama primarily hit fades. Rose shapes it both ways. Simpson draws the ball. In 2018, Ricky was drawing the ball. Then you have Rory, Xander, who draw the ball as well. 2017, we have Xander, who draws the ball. Henley, oh man, I forget what type of shot shape he has. I think he hits a draw. I think when I was watching him at the Northern Trust, I'm pretty sure he hit more draws than he did fades. He probably can shape the ball both ways, but either way. JT fades the golf ball. That's a pretty low score for a golfer who fades it. Kisner draws. Casey draws. Fade. It's a fade primarily, but he can shape it both ways. Spieth hits a draw. Draw. Fade, I believe. Draw, fade. Hits it both directions. Spieth draws the ball. I really don't know what Danny Lee does. He can shape it both ways. There's a fade, draw, fade, shapes it both ways, fade, draw. So, I mean, it's going to be a mix, but it's interesting to see how many golfers draw the golf ball who are at the top of the leaderboard. Your winner basically draws the golf ball. Draw, shapes it both ways, draw. And Stenson fades the golf ball, but in second place, draw. I think we want to find a golfer who draws the golf ball to, create our foundation, basically. Okay. So now we saw the results. We can go into course history and basically from here talk about all the guys that draw the ball or fade the ball. So here are all the golfers playing, and then we have the course history, their average at this course. You can also see their best finish, their worst finish, how many top 10s they have, how many events they played. Xander, 3 events, 3 top 10s. You can see what his average, his scores were, his average was. First time ever playing, wins the tournament. But yeah, like when we look at this top down, I'll highlight all the golfers that draw the golf ball that I know off of memory. I can't remember what Kokrak does. Is Fowler's not playing, is he really? So this is wrong. And like these 2 guys are not playing. How did that? Oh, my bad. Oh, goodness. I copied down 2019's information. Yeah, here we go. This is 2019 information. Okay. All right. Bear with me. We'll get through this fast. I promise. If you guys want to know how to do some kind of formulas, you can see it right here. Why did I do if lookup? We didn't want to do that. I wanted to count if. That was embarrassing. Yeah, okay, perfect. I'm really not that embarrassed, but it was definitely something that was... Why don't I have everybody? I might have to add some people on the fly. Yep. Oh, my apologies. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 9 rookies playing in this tournament. Fun fact, I would probably restart this video, but I have gone too far to restart it, so I am not going to. We know these guys are playing, so we don't have to worry about this. By the way, those are all your rookies. And so this is what I would do so we don't have any mispriced or misaveraged golfers. There we go. And are we all fixed? We're all fixed. Perfect. Sorry, took a little while, but we're there. Here we go. Billy Horschel ties with Xander Schauffele with the best course history. Billy Horschel is actually down at the bottom of the salary leaderboard. Might not be a bad play. Only issue is everyone and their grandma is going to be playing Billy Horschel. So I don't know how to feel about that. Xander's also going to be played quite a bit, so there's that. But I really do like Xander this week. But here we go. The draws, what I was telling you. The golfers who draw the golf ball. Now, Palmer used to draw the golf ball. I believe he can still tap into it and hit the draw. But I know he focuses primarily more on fading the golf ball. But I'm just going to mark him as a draw. John Rahm can shape the shots both ways. DJ can shape the shots both ways. Simpson. I believe Matsuyama and Berger also can, but then we also have DeChambeau, who primarily hits a draw. Kisner, who hits a draw. Oh, man, I forget what Todd does. I want to say Todd hits a draw as well. Sure. Patrick Reed hits a draw. Smith hits it both ways, but he probably hits a fade, so I'm going to leave it there. And Kevin Na hits a draw. And Kevin Na is a sneaky play that I like. So these are all the guys who have good course history that draw the golf ball or who can shape it both ways. And obviously the guys that I already said that can shape it both ways, I think those are golfers you do want probably to put more emphasis on. 2 of them being the guys at the top of the salary. So it's definitely doable. Okay, so that was course history. Let's look how many top, like the leader of top 10s, Justin Thomas, nothing but top 10s. Definitely worth the consideration. Now 2019 is kind of a skewed stat, but that's still a good course history if you take that away. Rory, super good course history as well. DJ also has very good course history, quite a bit of top 5s. So DJ is worth the look, and I think he's been shaping it both directions, so I think he's super dangerous. even being that top salary golfer. So let's go ahead and look at the grass stats. That is our last thing we're going to be focusing on. I'm going to... Actually, we really don't need to hide any of this information. You can see the golfer over here. You can see their starting score. Let's go ahead, sort by overall Bermuda. As you can see, DJ has the best Bermuda stats. He's starting at the highest amount, the best starting score. Having the best Bermuda, that shaping the ball both directions. He's got it going on. He's the hottest golfer. You have to make a conviction to yourself. You have to think DJ shoots 4 under or better at this golf course. So you would have to look at his scoring average and see what he typically shoots. So let's go ahead and take a look. DJ 8 under in 2013. 2018 7 under. 2016 5 under. 4 under in 2015. In 2017 2 under. 2014 didn't play. But yeah, we have 8 under, 4 under, 5 under, 2 under, 7 under. Did not play well last year. I can't remember what was going on, but either way, more often than not, he's hitting 5 under or better. If anybody below him, so let's say if we went back to the starting, if anyone, basically, okay, say he shoots 4 under. Obviously, Morikawa would have to shoot 9 under, but we're anticipating someone's going to shoot 10 under, or we're anticipating 2 people shooting over 10 under. Obviously, anyone in this range can do that. If your convictions are of golfers down here being able to win, then I think you need to play them, and avoid Dustin Johnson. But that's more of a salary thing. I'm sorry, we're getting more in a strategy thing. So let's continue to talk about Bermuda. So we have DJ at top, Rory's next, Webb is after. These are your main culprits. Scotty Scheffler might be a more interesting person to talk about. He finds the top 10 11% of the time he plays in Bermuda events, so not the greatest, actually one of the worst in the field. Your best would be Rory, and if you hadn't heard it already from someone else, Rory's expecting a baby anytime soon. His wife is expecting, and he said he's rushing home whenever that baby is due. So we might see Rory withdraw from this tournament. Which obviously would not be good for your DraftKings, purposes or your betting purposes. Just, it would not be good. So you have to play that with conviction. Should I play Rory or should I not? He has the best top 10 clip. He's starting at 3 under, and I guess we could look at his average score. $5 under in 2018. Let's see, what was 2017? Did he play? He did not play in 2017. So he obviously shot 13 under last year, 5 under in 2018, 12 under in 2016, 1 over in 2015, 8 under 2014, and did not play 2013. So we're all over the map, and it kind of goes up and down. So if Rory, at his price, again, this is a strategy thing, so I don't know how we cannot, but at 5, if he only shoots 5 under, or if he shoots 5 under or worse, he's not paying off his salary. So I don't think it's worth it if you just have to have a conviction. Do you think he's going to shoot better than 5 under? If he is, then perfect. But half of the time he shoots 5 under or less. Half the time he shoots 10 under or better, or 7 under or better. It's all up to you guys. You can see the rest of the Bermuda. I'm not going to talk about all of it. Pretty tightly close, like 30 to 41. That's like 10 shot difference. You can actually see all the Bermuda events that are right here next to it. So all these guys with very low amounts, having this average Bermuda, I would say, you know, I really don't think it's going to move much, if I'm going to be quite honest. Like, if these numbers get close to 44 to, you know, even 18, they're probably going to stay around the same. And unfortunately, my stats bake in to account the Tour Championship. So there are only 30 people here. You know, like, you're going to have a 30th or better finish at this. So I want you guys to know that is what's included. But you can see some of your worst golfers here on Bermuda stats. So keep it in mind. Last thing we're going to talk about is the 2020 Bermuda stats. Webb Simpson, the best. I mean, I think just Bermuda alone, both of those numbers combined, Webb is the best golfer at this tournament with Bermuda. He didn't play last week. It might have helped him. It might have hurt him. You never know, but he obviously is the best Bermuda golfer. We have DJ next. No surprise. What might be a surprise is Ryan Palmer and Bryson DeChambeau have pretty good 2020 Bermuda stats. Maybe not the greatest overall. And then also Harris English. But I'm not going to go throughout all of them. You can see who those golfers are up here. Some of these only have one event under their belt. Like, I believe DJ and Bryson only have one event under their belt. A lot of these round numbers that you see, just like the ones that have double zeros, probably only played one event on a Bermuda golf course. So keep that in mind. But yeah, we're going to end it here. I'm not going to go any further. We're already at 36 minutes. So I'm going to bid you adieu. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in a StatFit video tomorrow or later today. All right, see ya.